Hey everybody, this is a special day for us. I'm joined today by Phil Sanders. He is the president of Delco Feeds the Front Lines, right? And we're going to learn what he's been doing. It's phenomenal. Some of you probably already know what he's been doing. Let's talk about how you put this all together and all the great work you're doing in the community.
Work at Comcast, just doing accounts payable. When the pandemic came along, I just wanted to reach out and do something. And I think a lot of people did, but we didn't really know how to go about it. So I was on Facebook and there was a site, it was getting fairly popular. It was called like Delco Happy Hour or something. And I go on there, I just said, hey, does anybody know if we would be able to deliver, food to the nurses, the medical staff, just to help out, show them we support them, a little bit of love. And people went crazy. They said, yeah, you can. And so I was setting up, but they were like, oh, this is such a gregreat idea. I got all these likes and all that, which Facebook likes are very important, as we all know. So they reached out and they said, somebody said you should start a site for this, like where everybody can go in and donate and do that. And I had no idea how to do that. So I said, yeah, okay, well, I don't know what to do. So somebody else came back to me and they set this site up for me and they called it Delco Feeds the Front Lines. And they said, run with it. I get into it and, people just keep coming on. And I'm noticing like we're up to 500 members, we're up to 1,000. And people are wanting to know how to donate. They're saying, what did you do? How can we do this? How can we jump in? So through all of these people coming on, we were making donations daily to all the hospitals and facilities in Delco, and it even outstretched into like Chester County, Penn, Temple. We even had a transplant from Delco that lived in Florida who started donating to Florida as well as contributing up here. And eventually we hit 6,000 members in about 6-8 months. And it was just insane the amount of support we were receiving from people in Delco that wanted to be involved. And we were doing, honest to God, 1 to 2 meals a day, hitting 2 different hospitals daily, just different departments. We would reach out and say, okay, who could use some love and support? That was a big line I put out there, like love and lunch. And we would get feedback, people from Crozier, people from Fitz, people, nurses, and even like CVSs, all different frontliners, but mainly hospitals, police departments. And we would just share that throughout Delco. And I would say, honestly, we've probably been to every frontline facility multiple times within the area. But it just became a huge passion. In the first couple months, having no idea what I was doing and, loving it though, feeling so passionate about it, I was doing like 16, 20-hour days because people just needed help. And to keep the site up and running, I just wanted to be there and comment. When people did donate, I was just feeding back saying, oh my God, you guys are doing a great job. Or if they had a question, how do I donate to, the radiology department at Crozier? I would give them information or I would help them do it, and it just became insane. And we just helped so many people and I was loving it. I swear to God, I wasn't sleeping for a few months, but it wasn't even like I felt that. There's just so much energy from doing what we were doing and just being able to go on every day and not look at the news and just go on this site and maybe just scroll a little bit and see all the people we were helping made the pandemic so much easier to deal with. This was like a place you could go for positivity, seeing we're helping people. And then the nurses or the medical staff coming back saying like, oh my God, you don't know what that meant to us, or posting pictures. It was just one of the highlights of my life, to be honest. It was just, it started out as nothing and just turned into this major thing just from people wanting to support.
And it's not over yet.
No,
we're still doing this.
We're still continuing. Yeah,
right?
We're trying to switch the food up a little bit, and we switched to doing like more local business, trying to help out local businesses stay afloat after all this pandemic. But what we're doing right now is we buy like gift cards off of small companies. And then what we'll do is raffle them off, and the person that wins gets the gift card along with the money to donate to a cause of their choice, which could be another small business, a charity, or frontliners. It's, they get the choice, but everything goes to a good cause. And we'll still always have the frontliners in our heart because that was the base of the cause, and that's where we want to be. And we always are reaching out. Sometimes somebody will come on there and just say, hey, we're having a really rough day. My team could really use some support. And we'll try to get them some lunch. I'll stop by and sign some autographs, things like that. 8x10s. I'm almost out though, but I stopped by. But no, truly, I'm no better than anybody else. We just, as a team, we jumped in, and the support in Delco has just been amazing. I would have never expected that. I always knew Delco was a great place, but when you just see it come to fruition, like in your own eyes, it's just amazing.
This was not just about the frontliners. No. Yes, we had food that made its way into our hospital, other hospitals, but this was about the businesses that we helped keep open. Talk a little bit about the financing structure that you put together where there were donations made, as I understand it,
Right.
to your organization. You bought, say, 10 pizzas,
Yeah.
and the business contributed another 5.
Yeah.
So they were able to at least cover their costs. They got a little exposure, and everybody won.
It was really important to me to use local businesses for doing these deliveries because they were hurting too, you know? And a lot of them not only like helped out like with extending their delivery zone or, you know, coming in early and making things up to get things there on time for different nurses' schedules. They would donate. I mean, and these are places that, you know, they were hurting because they couldn't bring people in with the restrictions, everything like that. So in turn, what we tried to do is we would get their name out there. We would plug them any chance we got, tag them on there. I even did a couple of videos outside of the place, you know, where I'd say, oh, this is Delco Feeds the Frontline. We're here with the owner, you know, Ralph, just getting them on their screen so they could talk a little bit about how this was important to them. And the hope was that people would go there and give them their business and it would help them out a little bit. And I think to a degree it did because they weren't even looking for it. They were just saying, we love the idea of supporting the front lines. But in turn, I think it helped them out with just at least a small increase in business just from getting that publicity. It's just amazing. Delco in every way came about, you know, and stepped up their game big time. It was great that it could help out 2 spots at once, you know, the people suffering the most, the businesses and our front lines.
Here we have, over 5,000 mouths who can go to these restaurants and make sure that they stay afloat, particularly the smaller ones that, you know, a little bit of a hiccup could really create a problem for them. We want to make sure that they stay solvent and that they continue to serve food the right way.
There was donations from not even like restaurants, like just different businesses that don't donate money towards the Frontlines cause to go out and, you know, to provide food, meals for different places.
So the beauty to this is that despite difficult times, there are lots of good people out there. You know, a lot of weird stuff's happening in the news. You see a lot of hate. And you know, behind all of that, there's some really good people doing good things. And it's not for these moments that we can really see what's inside of some of our people. There's a really beautiful light that shines. And this has been inspiring for me to see what you did. You had a full-time job. Fortunately, you were working from home, and you found a way to find time to do this, to save and help so many people here.
Everybody wants the pandemic over. 100% agree. But I can never see myself not being part of a cause now.
Right.
Because it just gave me life. Like, it really did feel good just to help people and know that it might have made their day, just to take that 5-minute break and know that somebody actually cared about them and was like, look, we're with you. Check out my page if you want to see and join. Yeah, Delco Feeds the Frontlines. You know, I'll be happy to introduce you to it if you want to contribute or if you just want to check it out for the positivity. And it's a team effort. I would never, ever take credit for it by myself. There have been so many people that have jumped in and helped out in a million different ways. Just proud of Delco altogether. We get a rap sometimes. There's some good people out there. It's really, truly amazing.
As always, be well, do good. Delco is counting on you.